To begin with, it was just a fantastic week for comic books, and I read a number of them, including this Star Wars: A New Legacy. It's the 10th anniversary of Star Wars returning to Marvel for the second volume of Marvel Star Wars, and just a fantastic, it's what brought me back into comic books a decade ago, so that's why I was saying earlier about it being my little anniversary. And it was great that this book popped up because they're celebrating their 10 years of coming back into comic book shops, and they did this little compilation. It's just 3 stories, but they went out and they grabbed some of the fantastic Star Wars writers over the last decade. That was what was really great about it, to bring these stories together to introduce the next series of Star Wars books from through the Marvel label. It was great because it's Charles Soule and Jason Aaron. I talked about Charles Soule here just a few weeks back, but Jason Aaron was one of the others that in this last decade or so of handling Marvel Star Wars properties that have done well. They've done a good job with telling the stories and sticking true to the heart of the mythos that it is, the Star Wars universe, and really just creating fantastic new characters and fantastic new places and situations within the Star Wars universe that we all love, and then having those original characters back there through that time as well. It's just been fantastic. They just ended Star Wars, Darth Vader, and Dr. Aphra. All of them ended here just at the end of last year, at the end of 2024, and they're relaunching again. And this Star Wars: A New Legacy is an introduction to these new stories that they're going to be telling. And I'm not somebody who goes out there and looks for spoilers or pays attention to what's coming up. I just like to be there and let the things surprise me. I pull up the orders every week for the comic book shop, so if a new Star Wars book is there, I'll see it, I'll get it. So I don't go looking to know whether or not there are any details about the new universe yet, or the new series yet, but I'm really looking forward to it, and I thought this was a great little introduction to it. The 3 different stories, in one of them there was this terrific revisiting, just a throwback to a scene from A New Hope, the first original Star Wars movie, Episode 4, whatever you want to call it. There's this scene where they're on the Falcon, and it's Chewbacca and R2-D2, and they're playing Jajarek at the table there. It's the space chess, and Han Solo tells him, don't upset a Wookiee, and C-3PO says something about, well, nobody ever worries about upsetting droids. And Han Solo says, well, droids aren't known for pulling people's arms out of their sockets. Wookiees are. And so that's when 3PO says to R2-D2, I suggest a new strategy, let the Wookiee win. Well, they revisit this scene, but with a different mech unit and a different Wookiee. The Wookiee is Chrysanthemum, and if you're into the Star Wars stuff, you know who he is. If not, he's just a big mean Wookiee. He's a bad guy. And he's sitting there at the table with this other astromech unit, except it's not your typical, R2-D2. He's an astromech. He goes out. He's a mechanic, and a star mechanic. While they're flying through the stars, he repairs the ships. The BT-1 that Chrysanthemum is playing is is a blast mech. He's a prototype. He's the only one. He's an astromech. He's an assassin designed to look like an astromech. So you can imagine how maybe the story is a little bit different when the astromech actually does have the ability to defend itself. So yeah, just a great little scene. Star Wars: A New Legacy. I'm looking forward to. This is just a one shot. It's available in your shop now, but it is the introduction to a couple of interesting new storylines running into the next iteration of Star Wars through the Marvel Universe. So I'm really excited to see that. Go back to towardanarchy.com there.